Ever had those weeks when showing up online felt like an Olympic event? Your content's half written, your energy's low, and you're convincing yourself that disappearing a while is actually spiritual. Yeah, I've been there. Hi, I'm Africa Archield. I help soul led women build sustainable, sacred businesses without burning out or hiding. And if you're tired of ghosting your audience every time life gets loud, this video is going to show you exactly how to stay visible without losing your peace. Did I just hear a sigh of relief? Yeah, I thought so. If creating consistent content just feels impossible, I have yet another treasure for you. Go grab my magnetic newsletter in an hour. It helps you write aligned magnetic emails that sound like you. No hustle required. The link's right at the top of the description. All right, so I want you to know this up front. You're not inconsistent, babe. You're overwhelmed, absolutely overloaded. The world tells us we need to show up every single day. But when you feel everything, when you're empathic, that's just a recipe for burnout. Sensitive souls like us aren't meant to chase attention, we're meant to attract through resonance. Yeah, I know because I used to push myself to post every day on 3 to 4 social media channels, all different things. Because you can't post the same thing on all the different channels. At least that's what the gurus were saying at the time, right? That you had to post different things on each of the channels. You had to post every day so that you could be consistent because consistency was supposed to equal success. Now, I was consistent and I didn't see success, or rather, what I saw was making me upset. What I saw was me burning out, and it was making me dread my own work, my great work that I was birthing into the world. I was like, are you kidding me? So I stopped trying to keep up and I started to align my marketing to my energy. And that was scary to say the least. And that's when everything changed, right? I could actually breathe again. I was allowing myself to be more me. And that seemed like a rebellion, a revolution at the time, right? I want to share with you two frameworks that I stumbled across, let's say, as I was making marketing work for me, right? Work for my seasons. So the first one is the sensitive soul marketing framework. First thing is we need to regulate, right? We need to regulate because visibility starts in your nervous system, not your calendar. Calendar can be a wonderful tool, but if your body doesn't feel safe being seen, no strategy is going to save you. So we're going to regulate, then we're going to create. Right? That's our first part of our foundation. And so the tip I'm going to give you here is to take 60 seconds before you go into creation mode. 60 seconds to breathe. The 4-part breath is amazing. I'll try to make sure to put a link to a video I have on that in the description. You can also stretch or ground before you create. If possible, go outside. Going outside is amazing, right? Just being in nature and breathing in nature and grounding there is going to do wonders for you, getting your nervous system regulated again. And if you haven't used her, you can check out one of my GPTs, Shimmer, part of Clearing the Energetic Gunk bundle. There's all these different things you could do for nervous system regulation there. Amazing. So the second thing we need to do, the second part of our foundation for the Sense of Soul framework, is going to be to repurpose. Right? Repurpose. Right? You don't have to channel something brand new every time you post. Right? I ran into that. It was exhausting. You don't need to do that. Sensitive entrepreneurs are a deep well of wisdom, right? You know that you are. I am too, right? So we get to reuse our magic. We can do very wonderful and beautiful strategic repurposing, right? So we get to repurpose what we don't reinvent, right? So one time, and this is when I started like really getting together with my newsletter, I turned one of my old journal entries into part of my weekly newsletter. And I got 3 new clients, right? That's what I literally teach in Magnetic Newsletter in an hour, because you get to learn how to use your own words and put them into content that connects and converts. It's amazing. If you want to check it out, of course, you know, the link is in the description and in the pinned comments, because I want you to be able to stay consistent without draining your energy, right? Let your content do the heavy lifting and create content when you're in flow. Yeah, I'm kind of giving away the next part. We're going to get there. All right, the third part of our foundation. So these are literally like cornerstones we're laying here, right? We've got regulate, then create. We've got repurpose, don't reinvent. Oh, I know reinvent's hard to read there. All right, our third cornerstone, automate. Automate. Right? I know automate is a dirty word, automation. With some people, not with me. You'll never hear me talk bad about automation. Because automation doesn't necessarily make something soulless, right? It makes it sustainable, right? Automation gets to do some of that heavy lifting, some of that repetitive pieces, so that you can stay connected. That allows you, automation, quite honestly, allows you to batch while you are inspired and schedule things out, right? It protects your energy for when you need it the most. That's the beauty of automation. So I'm going to say automate, but keep it authentic. And trust me, you can. All sorts of trainings on this, right? So when I batch my newsletters using the system that I teach, I stay visible even when I'm offline 4 days. 4 days. And I'm going to get more into that in just a minute. Like I've got a whole formula that I'm going to go into, right? Let's get to our fourth cornerstone. It is to protect. There you go. From that training from design class in college falling in place there. All right, protect. Remember, as I was telling you why I kind of got wrung out doing all this marketing stuff, I was showing up everywhere. And it was exhausting. All the social media, writing different things for each of the social media platforms. You don't need to be everywhere. Hear me when I say this. You do not need to be everywhere. But where you choose to show up, and I've made many videos on how many places you should show up. I'm not going to repeat myself here. where you choose to show up, you need to be fully you wherever you show up. Just be you. Okay? And one of the things that I find so wonderful is to do a digital detox, right? Clean up that digital space. Unfollow draining accounts. And I love doing this after major polarizing events because people's colors show right on up. And people have wondered, like, what is it about them that feels kind of weird to me after a major polarizing event? I definitely know, and I unfollow, right? Or maybe they've just never said anything, and I in my heart I'm wondering. And after a major polarizing event, either I unfollow or I'm so excited that they're in my world and in my feed, right? So always unfollow any draining accounts at any time that you see them. Keep your feed clean because it should uplift you when you go on that social media channel, because otherwise, why are you posting on that social media platform? Why are you posting there? Why are you spending your time there if it's going to drain you? You won't go and you won't engage. Part of social media is engaging with people. So go engage. And that means that feed needs to be clean. So clean it. Okay? The other thing I want to say here is when I say that you need to be you, this is what. Don't perform. Don't perform. Don't be someone else. And I know if you're neurospicy, you know exactly what I mean. Having to mask all the time. This is not the place. Right? This is your business. You don't need to mask. You need to be fully you. This is what I want you to remember. Your visibility doesn't need to come at the cost of your vitality. Right? Your visibility doesn't need to come at the cost of your vitality. I want you to repurpose. I want you to batch when it's time. I want you to only be on the social media channels that lift you up. Trust me, your audience is there. Your audience is there. Right? And it needs to be a joyful experience so you feel good engaging and you don't burn out. And you don't need to engage every single day. Now, I know I promised you 2 frameworks. I've already started talking about the second one because, sometimes I can't help myself. The second one is, come on over, the flow formula, right? I'm not going to go super deep here on the video because it would definitely be too long. But what I want to do is give you the permission slip, right? That you don't need to chase to be seen. You don't need to be performing to be remembered, right? No crazy short form content dances or chasing the last viral trend, trying to get eyes on you. That's not necessary. You're going to magnetize your divine bright client. They're going to see you through all of that noise because you're being authentically you. Right? You're not here to make marketing harder. Not at all. That's why I'm so focused on you magnetizing through alignment. So I'm going to talk a little bit, just a little bit, about the flow formula. Remember, I've been talking about cornerstones. So even my flow formula has a cornerstone. And that cornerstone, right? So you're going to have a cornerstone too. Your cornerstone might not be my cornerstone, though I think it's probably a good idea for it to be. Right? My cornerstone is my newsletter. Right? It's my newsletter. And I need to feed my newsletter content. right? And so I had to decide on a, sorry, puppy right there on the floor. I had to feed my newsletter content. And so I had to decide what that content was going to be on a consistent basis. And guess what I opted for? You're watching it right now, YouTube. I decided to feed my newsletter YouTube videos, right? So I end up showing up on YouTube once a week, sometimes twice a week, depending on my level of ambition and whatnot, right? But here's the real tea. I write and film my videos in batches, right? That's the third part of the formula, to batch, right? And I only batch when I'm in flow. So if I don't feel great, I don't batch. I don't write. I don't do anything. I get my energy back in alignment. Of course, she's playing with the squeaky toy. I get my energy back into alignment. That's what I do, right? And then all the social media content follows from there. So I'm feeding my newsletter, my YouTube videos. Out of that newsletter flows all the social media content. All I'm really doing is I'm relying on systems that I use to repurpose. Right? I have really great repurposing systems that slice and dice all different kinds of bits out of my videos and other things that go into my newsletter. YouTube videos aren't my only source of content in there, but it's a main one, right? But all that gets sliced and diced and gets kicked out into social media, right? And it happens to be I can sit down once I know what videos are going to be coming out. I can sit down once a month and slice and dice out social media content for the entire month. Like literally, I could say, oh my gosh, I feel really good and I feel really inspired today. Super inspired. And sometimes I will literally set aside topics for videos. All right? I will set them aside. And then I know I'm getting there. I'll set aside topics for videos and other tidbits here and there when I'm out and about, right? And then I like feel really good and really inspired. I'll sit, write out the videos, take that information, start writing, drafting out all my newsletters, and then spin out all my social media content in a day. In a day. And I got social media content for a month, sometimes for more than a month, depending on how inspired I am in that moment, right? So it is possible to do those things when you are in flow. So it's so beautiful because all those repurposing systems are absolutely designed to carry me. Okay? And this is how I stay consistent, right? And connected without the crash, without the collapse, right? Without burning out. That's what's so important. And that's what I want for you too. Because, look, if you're ready to simplify your marketing, which I think you are, and make it feel really good, like luscious, good, yum-alicious again, the best place to start is with your newsletter. That's why it's my cornerstone. Grab Magnetic Newsletter in an hour. It's going to help you write newsletters that nurture, convert, and sound like you. Not a robot. Not someone else. Not your favorite guru. Sound like you. Even when you're resting. Because we, sensitive, empathic entrepreneurs, need downtime. We need to rest. And we need to afford ourselves the opportunities to rest. Otherwise, what happens? that crash, that burnout that we don't want, right? So, magnetic newsletter in an hour. The links at the top of the description and in the pinned comments. Okay. If this has helped you remember that your sensitivity is your superpower, go ahead and like this video. Right? It's going to help more women just like you find the video. That's how algorithms work, right? And subscribe and ring the bell for notifications so you never miss your next dose of sacred strategy. Then comment below, and I do really want to read your comments. And let me know what part of showing up online feels the hardest for you right now. I'd love the opportunity to reply back and share some of my wisdom with you. And I know at this point, you're probably ready for your next step. So go watch this video. Why your spiritual business isn't taking off. You'll be surprised by what you learn. Until next time, peace, joy, love to you.